Stand up for what is right. In an unjust society, silence is a crime. Like, comment, and share.
This morning, guys, what is trending? Politics. In what appears like kleptocratic system of government and the conspiratorial state capture, we watch the state Nigeria fall apart before our eyes. Meanwhile, this is just the second year of the first term. Campaigns have started already. You know that. Patriotic Nigerians won against a certain master strategist prior to 2023. Others sold their brains for urgent 2K. Today, all Nigerians are victims of the master strategist, who is as well notorious across the world for his criminal records. You must have gotten the news of the intention of your government to borrow humongously, in addition to already outstanding debts. This is the same government that removed fuel subsidy immediately it assumed power, in the view of reducing expenses and improve other areas suffering for lacks and negatively affecting daily lives of the citizens. This move alone tripled inflation. The entire salary of a basic civil servant cannot afford a bag of rice. For those who have families, you are on your own and you must pay the high transportation fare or buy fuel at a exorbitant price to report to work daily. While we watch in awe, while we watch in great surprise, we are waiting for better days as they promise. Their myopic greed and incompetent monetary policy automatically multiplied our sufferings, and as well the outstanding debt profile of the country. Then he increased the taxes without any boost of domestic investments. From that moment till today, Nigerians are literally starving, and a lot have taken their lives for having nothing to hope on for survival. Companies are closing down rapidly. Meanwhile, the money supposedly realized from fuel subsidy removal, there is no significant show for it. Instead, the government spend recklessly among themselves. Nigeria's economic downturn has led to closure of approximately 7.2 million businesses between 2023 and 2024 under Tinubu-led administration, exacerbating concerns about the country's financial stability. During this period, Nigeria recorded an estimated 94 trillion loss due to multinational divestment and business closures, according to Dr. Segun Omisakin, Chief Economic and Director of Research at the Nigerian Economic Research Group, NESG. He made this revelation during the launch of the 2025 Private Sector Outlook report. Omisakin highlighted that unfavorable economic conditions led to the shutdown of about 30% of micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, in Nigeria. Given that the country has an estimated 24 million MSMEs, this means around 7.2 million businesses have ceased operation within the past year period. Between 2023, underscoring the country's economic vulnerability. The alarming rate of business closures comes amid rising inflation, high operation costs, and increasing economic uncertainty. Entrepreneurs and business owners in Nigeria have faced escalating fuel prices, transportation costs, and an overall inflation crisis, making it difficult for many enterprises to stay afloat. Your country's public debt is set for another significant jump as President Tinubu has requested the National Assembly's approval to secure fresh foreign loans amounting to about $24.14 billion. At the prevailing official rate of dollars currently, the proposed potentially pushing Nigeria's total public debt from 144.67 trillion naira at the end of 2024 to over 182.91 trillion naira by 2026. The fresh borrowing is composed of $21.54 billion, 2.19 billion euros, and 15 billion yen. Using the latest exchange rate, the euro component converts to approximately $2.5 billion, while the Japanese yen translates to $102 million. In total, the new loans amount to an estimated $24.14 billion. When converted at the official rate of the current rate to dollars, the naira equivalent of these loans comes to 38.24 trillion naira. As of December to data from the Debt Management Office, this represented a 40.58% rise. The jump was driven by substantial increases in both domestic and external borrowing, and compounded by the depreciation of the naira against major foreign currencies. Economists have raised concerns about debt sustainability over the about $24 billion worth of external borrowing currently that Tinubu sought to approval of the National Assembly on Tuesday. No makeup. Let's continue. See, these are authentic sources, and including the government source. Now listen, these three initiatives combined the $24.14 billion external loan, the $2 billion bond program, and the 758 billion naira pension bond could significantly push Nigeria's debt well beyond 182.91 trillion naira. More concerning, the 182.91 trillion naira estimate does not include the trillions of naira in domestic debt that are likely to be raised over 2025 and 2026 to finance budget shortfalls, nor does it account for debt repayment. Among the major repayments due in near term is a $1.118 billion Eurobond maturing in November 2025. Nigeria has also fully repaid just $3.4 billion facility it obtained from the International Monetary Fund under the Rapid Financing Instrument of 2020. I said just because more is coming. Wait there. However, the country remains liable for annual charges of roughly $30 million in special drawing right SDR just for 1 year. These repayments, along with interests and sinking fund obligations, will weigh further on Nigeria's already tight fiscal position. In separate interviews with The Punch, the experts hammered on the need to put the borrowing to good use, or else it would add to the national debt burden unnecessarily. The Group Chief Executive Officer of Cowrie Assets Management Limited, Johnson C., expressed reservation about the federal government's planned $24.14 billion foreign borrowing, stressing the need for transparency and efficiency in its utilization. Or do you think he is talking to some people who will listen? No, no. Mr. C. said the critical issue was not the size of the loan, but how it would be deployed. He said the most important is what the money is being used for, and that is what Nigerians will be focused on. Of course, echoing similar sentiment, the Chief Executive Officer of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, Dr. Mudra Yusuf, expressed concern over the federal government's growing debt commitments, particularly the heavy tilt towards external borrowing. Yusuf warned that Nigeria's rising debt service burden is already outpacing capital expenditure and could begin to crowd out essential government function if not properly managed. Debt service is already far more than the appropriation for capital spending, he said, describing the trend as worrying. He emphasized the need for the government to focus more on revenue growth and fiscal consolidation rather than piling on new debts. He said, we need to tread very cautiously with respect to debt commitments. He added, he warned that any new external loans must be critically scrutinized for cost and purpose. Also speaking with The Punch, a former chief economist of Zenith Bank, Marcel O., said the borrowing plan was taking the country back to the woods rather than out of it. Rather than coming out of the woods, the economy is being taken in. Each government comes and says they are borrowing this money for infrastructure. The People Democratic Party and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar have criticized Tinubu's loan. Of course, it is expected. The request to the National Assembly, labeling it as irresponsible. They called on Nigerians and the National Assembly to reject the request and hold President Tinubu accountable. Do you think he's talking to people? It's just like he's joking. Well, I am not enjoying it. I'm just telling you the obvious. PDP National Publicity Secretary Dabo Olugum Agba called on President Tinubu's administration to provide a full account of all previous loans it has secured. In an exclusive interview with The Punch, Olugum Agba stated that the party would take the lead in pushing for the rejection of the new loan request. PDP Publicity Scribe stated, this is what happened when those in government are self-serving rather than people-oriented. These are the consequences of having irresponsible leadership in power. This is just it. Not because they are opposition, but they are saying the truth right now. The real challenge for Nigerians is that we seem to be in a cul-de-sac. Every institution of democracy appears to have been compromised. This is deeply troubling. The National Assembly, comprising the Senate and House of Representatives, is meant to represent the people, ensure good governance, and serve as a check on the executive. But it is on record that the APC leadership of the National Assembly has said they will approve whatever the president presents. That is not how democracy should function. I believe we've reached a point where Nigerians must begin to rise and demand accountability. We have lost count of how much the APC administration, from Buhari to President Tinubu, have borrowed. Are they talking to us now because they need us? Because we know they are too the same thing, apart from Goodluck Jonathan, who really want to make the change. And don't forget Yaradua Umaru. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, through his media advisor, Paul Ibe, raised serious concern over Tinubu's request for fresh foreign loans, describing the move as troubling and lacking in transparency. Atiku questioned the rationale behind the new borrowing in light of Nigeria's worsening economic indicators and the absence of visible results from previous debts. He is right, of course. He is saying the truth. They should explain to Nigerians how the loans collected in FAR have been used. What impact have those funds had? Because things have not improved, he concluded. Men, we're going to be complaining and complaining and complaining. Remember, this is first time and just 2 years has passed. You're going to see another side of them. And remember, it is one party system. Somebody built Lagos. So he is building your country the way he built Lagos. Are you following the point now? Stand up for what is right in an unjust society. Silence is a crime. I'm just keeping it real. Thank you and God bless you. Share, follow us for more updates. Thank you. One love.